Good evening YouTube, Ian here from Coolice Charge Cables and Power Supplies. Hope you're all safe and well and enjoying the sunshine or weather wherever you are in the world. Here in the UK we're obviously getting some half decent weather for a change, so we're not so used to it, so we're probably sweating and panting all over the place. But anyway, I've got another charge case I'd like to show you briefly. As you can see in front of you, it actually looks orange in this light, but it's not, it's red. This is the Max 430 case, and the customer for this one didn't want anything too elaborate, but we've got two ISDT Air8s that are going to be going in when he comes to collect it tomorrow. I haven't got them. You'll see the cutouts obviously in the deck for them. We'll plug them in when he arrives and obviously make the connections, because it's got all the XT60s and JST-XH ready to plug in. So nothing too fancy on this. Obviously cooling fans, USB charge port as normal, ice meter. He did ask for an ice meter, so he's got that. And then obviously I fitted the rotary battery isolator switch and XT90 for both 25 volt output when it's on AC and DC input when he wants to use it from an external DC power source. So without further ado, we'll obviously, I've just undone the latches, we'll open it up so I can show you. Obviously straight away from this you can tell it's obviously got a lid tied in the lid, and you'll see it is one of my basic ones. The usual laser etched plaque. Obviously it's upside down, so when the lid is open it reads the correct way. And here we go. So as you can see, it kind of follows the same sort of format as what I've had with my other cases. Originally we were going to go for the smaller case, the Max 300, and that would have been good, but because the customer then requested that he wanted the DC isolator switch and he didn't want me to put anything on the outside of the case, it then negated or meant we had to go to the slightly larger case. So we made a bit of a compromise there, and we've gone for the slightly bigger Max 430. Same sort of layout, air slots in. Power supplies couldn't be orientated in the direction I would normally have them with the airflow. They are mounted horizontally, if you like, across the case, but they'll still obviously then get a lot of airflow going in them. And of course then the radial fans then of course then do pull a decent amount of air through the case when they turn on. And of course they're controlled by the ice meter when they're working. Well, or should I say when it's working from the internal power supply. So that's handy. Obviously on DC input, the cooling fans won't work, and I did almost wire them in series or in parallel with the input side, but then I thought no, there's no point, because the charger cradles of course become the ducts, the cooling ducts for the airflow of the chargers. So when the chargers are powered by 12 or 24 volts on the DC input socket, which is there, XT90 sunk into the deck, they'll of course then suck air in through the front slot, and then obviously expel their warm air out the top without it going within the case anyway. So there's no need to obviously mess around then having additional wiring and diodes, for example, in this instance, to stop any backfeed into the ice meter. So when on internal DC, when on internal PSU supply from the AC, which is under this very fancy little flippy lid one, I came across these and they work quite well, so I've got a handful of those for future builds. The cooling fans will turn on and off, controlled by the ice meter, which is nice. I've put a strip of LEDs under here as well, so obviously then you'll get the green glow through the case itself, which is nice. And then of course then obviously on DC external input there's no need for the cooling fans, so they won't work. XT60 of course on the output from the charger to the lipos, and obviously then the balance port, I've obviously modified that as well to work from the 2S to 8S. Ice meter of course is sunk into the deck, so when the lid is closed it's not going to interfere too much with the knob. So as you can see, it's quite nice and neat. We've got the rotary isolator switch at the back, which is quite nice. It's neatly positioned, which is handy. Turn it too far, you can pull the knob out, I don't want to lose that. And then in the lid itself then we've got one of my basic lid tidies, which is obviously the 5mm acrylic laser cut. Two big openings here are for the charge balance boards that the customer is going to, should I say, the customer's already got. I did ask him to give me the dimensions, so hopefully he's given them to me correctly. If not, I blame Lester. But yeah, I do obviously allow a little bit extra on top of those anyway. I think there's an extra 4mm all round from memory, so that would be quite nice. That should be held in there quite nice. And of course then I've got various other slots in there then to allow customization of the straps holding any leads into the lid. So I'm not going to go into too much more detail over this one because it's a relatively simple build. There's nothing too major in it. I have got some photos, I think, from memory from the underside. I might try and grab a couple more tomorrow as I put the chargers in if I can, and then obviously add them to the back of the video. But as normal, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and if for all your charging needs, give me a call, Ian at coolice.co.uk. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.